Hello friends, earlier we have learned about modulus operator in Python. Now let's discuss the various scenarios where we can use modulus operator. And you will be surprised to find the various use cases of modulus operator. We can use modulo operator to check for divisibility. Using modulus operator, we can find whether a number can completely divide another number or not. If a number completely divides another number, in that case, the remainder will be 0. Suppose we have a variable dividend which is storing 128. Suppose we have another variable divisor which is storing 4. Let's find out whether 4 can completely divide 128 or not. As we know, when we perform division, if the remainder is 0, in that case we can tell that the number completely divides another number. If the remainder is not 0, then the number cannot divide the another number. In order to find out, we can write dividend modulus divisor. We have learned earlier that the result of modulus operation between two numbers is equal to the remainder of their division. If one number completely divides another number, in that case, the remainder will be 0. And we already know that modulus operator will give us the remainder of two numbers. Let's divide 128 with 4. 4 times 3 will be 12. Now this 8 will come down. 4 times 2 will be 8. Now the remainder is 0. So we can tell 4 completely divides 128. Now if we run the program, you can see we are getting 0 as a result. So we can tell that 4 completely divides 128. So we can use modulus operator to identify whether a number can completely divide another number or not. If the result is 0, then the number can completely divide another number. If the result is not 0, in that case, the number cannot divide another number. Suppose this time our dividend is 583 and our divisor it is 11. Let's try to find whether 11 can completely divide 583 or not. So as we discussed, we can use modulus operator. Dividend modulus divisor. If 11 completely divides 583, in that case the result of this operation will be 0. I will divide 583 with 11. 11 times 5 will be 55. If I subtract 55 from 58, I will get 3. This 3 will come down. 11 times 3 will be 33. Now if I subtract them, the result will be 0. The remainder will be 0. So since the remainder is 0, I can tell that 11 can completely divide 583 because the remainder is 0. And this modulus operation will give us the remainder of division between two numbers. It will give the remainder when we divide 583 with 11. Since the remainder is 0, the result of this modulus operation will also be 0, and hence 11 can divide 583. Now if we run the program, you can see we are getting 0 as a result. Let's consider another scenario. Suppose our dividend, this time it is 55 and our divisor it is 7. Let's try to find whether 7 can completely divide 55 or not. So I will divide 55 with 7. 7 times 7 will be 49. If I subtract 49 from 55, I will get 6. So we can tell that 7 cannot divide 55 because the remainder is 6. Now here Our dividend, it is 55 and our divisor is 7. If we run the program, you can see we are getting 6 as a result. Hence, we can tell that 7 cannot divide 55. Let's discuss the second use case of modulus operator in Python. We can use modulus operator to identify whether a number is even or odd. In order to find whether a number is even or odd, what we can do is we can take that number and divide it with 2. If the remainder is 0, in that case the number is even. If the remainder is 1, in that case the number is odd. So if the remainder is 0, then the number is even, and if the remainder is 1, in that case the number is odd. Let's try to find out whether 80 is even or odd. So what I will do is we will take 80 and perform modulo with 2. Let's try to understand what is happening. When we take any number and if we divide with 2, the remainder will either be 0 or it will be 1. You can take any number and divide it with 2. You will find the remainder will either be 0 or it will be 1. If the remainder is 0, in that case the number is even number. If the remainder is 1, in that case the number is odd number. If we run the program, you can see we are getting 0 as a result. So we can tell that 80 is a even number. Next, let's find out whether 37 is even number or odd number. We can perform modulo with 2. Now, as we discussed, if the result is 0, in that case the number will be even. If the result is 1, then the number will be odd. Let's try to perform this division. So we are dividing 37 with 2. 2 times 1 will be 2. When we subtract 2 from 3, we will get 1. This 7 will come down. 2 times 8 will be 16. Now 1 will be the remainder. So since 1 is the remainder, we can tell that 37 is a odd number. Now when we run our program, you can see we are getting 1 as a result. Next, let's find out whether 101 is a even number or odd number. So we will perform 101 modulo 2. If we run the program, you can see we are getting 1. Hence 101 is a odd number. Similarly, let's find out whether 100 is a even number or odd number. Again, we will perform modulo 2. And if we run the program, you can see we are getting 0. Hence 100 is a even number. Let's look at another use case of modulo operator in Python. We can use modulo operator in order to calculate cyclic values. Let us understand what are cyclic values. Cyclic values are the values that repeat after some numbers. Suppose you have a clock and you will notice we store time in 24 hours format. So the time will start from 0, it will come all the way till 24, and again it will start from 0. So that's why the values are cycling. So cyclic values represents those numbers which often repeat again and again. Let's try to understand this with example. Suppose we have a clock and the time on the clock is 5. Let's try to find what will be the time on the clock after 30 hours. So the current time is 5. After 24 hours, the time will be 5. Then we have 6 more hours to go. So 5 plus 6 will give us 11. So it will be 11 o'clock after 30 hours. Let's write a program in order to understand it. So the current time on the clock, it is 5 and we have to find the time after 30 hours. So I am adding 5 with 30. Now what I will do is I will add 5 with 30 and perform modulus with 24. So we will add 5 and 30 and take modulo with 24. Now remember, here I have added parentheses because first I want to add 5 with 30, then whatever the result is, then I will perform modulo with 24. Here we have taken 24 because in one day we have 24 hours. If we run the program, you can see it is giving 11. So after 30 hours, it will be 11 on the clock. Let us try to understand how this is working. When we divide one number with another number, the remainder will always be greater than or equal to 0 and the remainder will always be lesser than the divisor. Here R represents the remainder and B represents the divisor. So when we divide two numbers, the remainder will always be greater than or equal to 0 and the remainder will always be lesser than the divisor. It is similar to our clock, where the time starts from 0 and it goes all the way till 23. Again, when it becomes 24, it shows 0 and again the time repeats from 0 till 23 and this keep on repeating. And that's why we have taken modulo 24. So when we perform division, the result will always be greater than or equal to 0 and it will be lesser than 24. So the result of this operation will always be in between 0 and 23. Now consider the time on the clock is 18. Let's try to find what will be the time on the clock after 49 hours. Again, in order to solve this, we can use Modulus Operator. So I will add 49 with it and perform modulo 24. Now the current time on the clock is 18. We are trying to find what will be the time on the clock after 49 hours. Let's try to solve this. The current time is 18 and after 48 hours the time on the clock will remain 18. Now we have to add one more to 48, so it will become 49. So we will add 1 to this 18, it will become 19. So the time on the clock must be 19. Let's revise what we have learned in this session. In this session, we have learned about the various use cases of Modulus Operator in Python. First, we learned how we can use Modulus Operator to check for divisibility. Then, we learned how we can identify whether a number is even or odd using Modulus Operator. Then, we learned how we can calculate cyclic values using Modulus Operator. I hope you found this session useful. Thank you.